What's up, guys? Eric Prey, Focus Fishing Guide Service, Table Rock Fishing Intel. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock. It is Tuesday, July the 28th. Pretty much been on the water every day this past week. I think I might have had a couple of days over on Taneycomo, but other than that, pretty much been on Table Rock every day the past week. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the bite is definitely getting tougher. Without any rain, lake dropping, fish scattered, it's definitely gotten tougher than it has been, but you know, we're still catching fish. As far as our lake level is concerned, we are at 920.25, which puts us just a little bit over 3 foot high. Bull Shoals is still 25, 26 feet high. Beaver's about 4.5, 5 feet high, so they still got a lot of water in the system. If you've been watching the weather forecast for this week, they're calling for upwards of 7 to 10 inches of rain between tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. Who knows? Who knows? We got nice rain last night. It kind of fired the fish up first thing this morning, but it didn't last. I mean, once the sun popped out, it got hot and the boat traffic got going. It got tough again. Water temperature, you know, down here by the dam. I'm at State Park right now. Down here by the dam, we were 84, 85. For the most part, I've been seeing 88 to 90. Even up the White around 0.23 in that, you're seeing 89, 90 degrees. You go up into the rivers where you got some color and you will see 92, 93. So the water's definitely warmed up. We're definitely in a solid summer pattern. But if you guys are coming down, say you're going to fish the lower end of the lake where I am today, don't put away your top waters. We caught 8 on top water this morning, including 3 keepers, and they were all keeper blacks. So most of those fish on top water were on gravel banks, pretty much right up against the bushes. Now, granted, we did have rain come in last night, pretty decent, about a ½ inch of rain, and we did have cloud cover first thing this morning. So if you get a cloudy, windy, rainy day, definitely have your top water tied on. The fish weren't back behind the bushes on the bank, but they were out right up next to the bushes, every one we caught. And we had, you know, one nice 3.5, and just some more fish. So you can catch them on top water. Drop shot bite is really strong down here as well, especially drop shotting treetops. Most of the fish are 25 to 35 foot deep over trees, both in the guts of the creeks and on the main lake points. You know, the overall depth doesn't matter. You just want to make sure your trees are right around 30 to 35 foot deep, and you'll see the fish sitting right on top of them. So keep that in mind. You can definitely catch some drop shotting down here. Swim bait bite has been kind of hit or miss. I was down here late last week, and we caught them really good on the Jack and Jaws 3.3 on the Pee Wee football head, like we have been doing. But I tried it quite a bit today. I think I had 2 bites, and both of them were short strikers. They just bit the tail off the swim bait. They didn't really eat it well. So keep it on the deck, keep it handy. You can still catch them on a swim bait down here. Go up into the mid-lake area, same deal. You want to have a topwater tied on. Definitely have a topwater tied on. The topwater bite is not great, but the day you don't have it laying on your front deck is the day they're going to come up and bust, and you're going to be disappointed. Again, cloudy, rainy day, right up against the bushes. Not so much clouds, not so much rain. Get out there on those main lake points. That seems to be where most of them are at. Then we're catching them on a swim bait up there as well. Jack and Jaws 3.3 swim bait on the 7/16 Jewel Pee Wee football jig. Seems to be my best bite up there as far as catching them on a swim bait. Most of them are right along the bottom, but that bite does tend to fizzle by about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So it's kind of a morning bite. Everything seems to be morning is best. You get around 9 o'clock, everything really starts to slow down. So keep that in mind. If you're planning on coming down, you know, I know guys fishing in the evening are catching them, but it seems like the first 3 hours of daylight are your prime time to catch fish right now on Table Rock. We are catching them on the River to Sea Worldwide Spoon around boat docks. Actually had a pretty good day this past week. Just kind of pitching bigger boat docks, the bigger commercial docks. Overall depth anywhere from 25 to 45 foot deep, but most of these fish are suspended under those docks, and it's just really key. You got to find those docks where you can actually pitch it all the way back to the walkway. That seemed to make a big difference. Getting it all the way back to that center walkway, that seemed to be where those fish are holding it. So keep that in mind. And then of course a drop shot rig. You can fish a drop shot all over the lake right now, but most of them have moved into the treetops, main lake, and back in the creek arms. Fish are 25 to 35 foot deep, suspending over top of the trees, and then overall depth doesn't matter. You just want your trees to be around 35, 40 foot deep. That's where you're going to find those fish. go up in the James River and got a really good jig bite up the James going on right now. A couple of different jig bites. Right now you can catch them on a Jewel Pro Spider jig around boat docks. Most of the fish, we fished for about 7-8 hours on one trip last week just because we were catching them so good. Around boat docks, mostly on points, but you know, you can fish a few more, but the key is finding the shade, and 5 to 15 foot depth was the key. I'm throwing the 7/16 in Okeechobee Blue with a green pumpkin pocket craw on it when I'm flipping, and catching quite a few fish doing that. You can also catch them on the bigger football jig up the James right now on the main lake, especially main lake gravel with roll-offs seem to be really strong, and some of the channel swings once you get up above point 12 where the channel swings up against the bank and then you've got a little pocket or even a cove behind it. Seem to be a lot of fish on those two. Been throwing the 5/8 Jewel heavy cover football jig with a mostly an Okeechobee Blue, but I have thrown brown purple flash a little bit with the bigger speed craw on it, the super speed craw, the one's got the bigger pinchers on it. I've been catching quite a few fish doing that. You can catch them on the worldwide spoon up there as well around boat docks. Some of the bigger boat docks like around Ants Creek where you've got some of those big community docks. Been catching a few, pitching that worldwide spoon back in there, and again getting all the way back to the walkway. That's how you're going to catch them there, and catching a few on a deep diving crankbait, XD6, DD22, DT16, whatever you like to throw in a deep diving crankbait right now. You can certainly catch some fish doing that. Most of those fish that we caught last week were really from about Piney on up. And actually, yeah, Piney on up, but the better bites seem to be above Cape Fair. And fishing main lake stuff, main lake roll-off points, main lake channel swing type points, the same sort of places we're throwing that football jig, throwing it up there, dredging the bottom with the big crankbait and then pulling it off of that ledge really was working well last week. You're not going to catch a bunch of fish on every spot, but you know, you're going to catch some quality. It seemed like when we caught one, it was at least a 3-pounder doing that last week. So keep that in mind if you're going up the James. White River, yeah, topwater, you definitely want to have your topwater tied on. They've been coming up off and on. Eventually they're going to quit running this much water, or the water's going to come up 6 feet depending on what forecast you listen to. But eventually this topwater bite's going to kick back on, so keep that in mind. You want to have a spook, Sammy, whopper, plopper, whatever you like to throw tied on. Have a heavy drop shot rig as well. A lot of fish coming on a drop shot rig up the White right now. Most of them again are in those treetops. 25, 35 foot deep for the fish. Doesn't matter your overall depth. Just look for those treetops that are around 35 to 40 feet deep. Really seem to be the ones the fish are holding in. Shad helps that bite. Worldwide spoon around boat docks as well has been working too. Caught several fish up there. Oh, up around Baxter and then Big Creek, and even in Shell Knob around Mill Creek. Some of those docks that sit over deeper water, we were catching a few fish out of those. And again, it's kind of like the deep crankbait bite up the James. You're not going to pull up on every dock and just whack them. But generally speaking, if you catch one fish, you're going to catch 2 or 3 out of a dock because they are kind of grouped up underneath those docks. So keep that in mind as well. Guys, it is the end of July. The boat traffic is ridiculous. It's hot. We got rain coming in, but fish are still biting. I mean, we had 9 bass this morning, and then these guys wanted to catch something for dinner, so we spent the last hour and a half catching bluegill, and I think we had 10 or 12 bluegill and a white bass that I cleaned for them. So fish are biting. If you want to come down and catch bluegill right now, man, there are some big bluegill being caught out on these gravel points. But the bite's good. We're catching fish. Lake's busy, so keep that in mind. Most of the time, by 9 o'clock, when that bite starts to slow down, you probably want to think about heading to the dock just because the boat traffic will kick your butt from 10 o'clock on. But, guys, if you haven't checked out Table Rock Fishing Intel, I'm going to harp on this every week, but take a moment, check out Table Rock Fishing Intel. All this information I'm sharing with you right now, plus a ton more, is on Table Rock Fishing Intel. Daily reports, marked maps. Take a look at the maps. Sign up for the 1-day trial and just go through the maps and look at all the detail on those maps. We've got a lot of information on there for you for just $45 a year. But guys, if you're coming down, say you want to hire a guide, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743 or hit my website, focusfishing.com, and either shoot me an email or book online. Either way, I will get back to you as soon as I can. Pretty busy in the next couple of weeks, but August, end of August and into September when the kids go back to school, we've got a lot of openings coming up. So if you're thinking you wouldn't mind learning how to drop shot or something, it'd be a great time to come down, because August, September is a great time to learn to drop shot. But guys, thanks for watching the videos. Again, take a minute to subscribe to check out Table Rock Fishing Intel, and go ahead and subscribe. Won't hurt my feelings. But check out TableRockFishingIntel.com. Guys, thanks for watching the videos. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.